Good morning, folks. Today we are coming to you with the second episode of the Big Boss Talk Show. So, we are in a very special place. Exclusive rights and invitation has been received from a very special person. So, our guest today is Mr. Eranga Weerasinghe, and we really welcome you to the show. And today we'll be discussing about the success story of Mr. Eranga. So, me rather than explaining about you, I would like to let you to explain to our viewers who you are and where you exactly work.
So thank you very much for having me in this program, and it was very privileged to be on this program, and uh, and I'll be very honored and happy to share my experience with the youth as a purpose of if they are to something to take on, I'll be happy to share them as well. I work for Bodyline Pvt Ltd as a general manager operations, and Bodyline is one of the companies where we make clothes, apparels, and exporter, one of the largest exporter in Sri Lanka, and it's a part of MAS Holdings Group, and Bodyline is situated in Horana, and we have 3 facilities in Sri Lanka and 2 facilities in India. Uh, so basically, we have about 11,000 direct employees in total. In Horana, we have about 6,000 employees working for the Horana facility. So we basically we provide all the facilities for our team members and employees, from transport itself to the food and everything. So it's a fantastic organization where any youth wanted to be end up in. So MAS is always about caring people, and it has its own values where we look after people. Even in past many years, determining critical situation, we looked after our employees, especially in the pandemic, especially these days in the world economic crisis times. How the organization looked after people and how the people looked after the organization is a fantastic combination to be in, given the fact that the entire world is dynamically critically changing times.
So, Mr. Ranga, that you mentioned about the pandemic situation. So, I will come back to that later in a little bit with the conversation. So, before that, I would like to get to know what exactly now. So, your career, how did you pave the path to this position? What were your like past studies, and how did you came to this position?
Yeah. Well, it was indeed a interesting story because here I am now in apparel making organization where my background is totally different. Uh, I have had my basic degree from engineering, particularly from civil engineering. So civil engineering and apparel making is totally different. But having said that, it's a fantastic organization to be in where you can use your talent, skills, and your real energy into that. Once you do that, so the organization has a path to groom yourself. So that's the beauty of the organization. Uh, when I reflect myself, I studied in Anand College in my primary education, and then after advanced level, I graduated. So I moved to University of Moratuwa and did my bachelor's there as civil engineering. And in 2004, I after graduation I joined MS Holdings, and so that's my academic. And then when I was in uh, MAS facilitated me to move forward my academics, where I could able to do masters in business administration. That is fantastic how organization develop employees as well.
So you mentioned your school was Anand, and during your college time, so as you did maths as your like the stream, so did you involve with any sort of sports, or did you what made you to decide that you are towards maths? Was it your own decision, or like from your childhood that you were uh, good at maths?
Yeah, maths is a fantastic story as well, because it the inspiration came from a few teachers, masters who were in the school. I was good in maths very early stage. I when I was in very primary school. when I passed my scholarship, so I was very good at maths. But when the journey goes on, I had some difficulties. But with one of the greatest teachers, inspiration, I got back and then moved on with mathematics, and I fall in love with mathematics. And from O level and A level, it was a fantastic journey. Um, uh, Basically, with mathematics and academics is a part of that, but if you look at myself, it's a combination of education and extra activities both. If you look at extra activities, in my college mate, they are, so they were more into sports and societies and various. But I'm not a society man. It's not in me. But however, I was into sports, and I played basketball for the college starting at the age of 10. And I had a privilege to captain a few age groups as well, and won many trophies, many championships for the college as well. And still, it's a fantastic era from 1993 to 1997, I would say specifically. That's the school I was recalling myself. Um, and we won the first time we won under 19 championship for the college, and under 13 first time for the college. So likewise, many championships at that era.
Now this question, because now we were behind the screen, we had a chat about the sports that you have done, so that I wanted to my viewers to know exactly that you have done simultaneously, you have done like 3 or 4 sports at once in college. So did you had any permit or any restriction from your parents to involve with the sports?
Um, yeah, that's a good question. When I was at school, I completely dedicated myself for basketball and basketball and academics. So that's hand in hand. I can't say whether it's 50-50. Sometimes it's 90-10, and sometimes it's 10-90. I don't know what 90 what tens, but both went hand in hand. I haven't had any any relaxed time to defocus, derail myself. Right? It's purely these two. And I think for a kid and a child, that's very important, because nowadays we see many intervention, many distraction. We call it madravya, right? But when you call madravya, is like a, suddenly we recall like alcohol. But but even with a phone, you get distracted, you get addicted, right? But nowadays, I think the phone is the killer, especially the youth, especially school children, right? But having said that, after college basketball, then I moved into schools, nationals, and then I had off season. I had off season. It's about 3 months, something like that, and then nothing to do. I can't. I can't
This
do
was
nothing.
what age were you?
I think I was 18 or 19, soon after A levels.
Mm-mm.
Soon after A levels, right? Because just before the A levels, I had a tour to captain for Sri Lanka. Then I did A level and then I got through it. And then I had a break about few months. Then I want to do something, and one of my colleagues said, Eranga, I'm going to this sports. That is, so I asked, what is it? He said, I'm going to wushu, martial art. But those days, people reluctant to say that I'm going to martial art, right? It's like a hidden thing, not like these days. So then I said, all right, so I will also join. So I joined with him, and we together started martial art wushu, that is in 1997 or 8. Then I continued, and then after that I got a scholarship to go to China from this organization, the name called Hiding Wushu Association. And after that, once I come back from the scholarship, we had a there was a we had a South Asian Wushu Championship to be held in Nepal, and we had a selection, and I got into the selection and I got through it. Then the first time in history, national Wushu team was formed and officially went to compete this event, and then I won a silver medal as well. So after returning back, I went to university. So it's a university era. I had two sports to carry out simultaneously: basketball and wushu, national level, and engineering. It's very hard, very, very, very tough time. When I reflect myself into that era from 2000 to 2004, Sri Lanka basketball, Sri Lanka wushu, and top level engineering degree. You can't beat that. It's tough. I think what the beauty is that when you focus on those, when the tough comes out, if you really determine, you can get through it, and you will not derail if you have a right focus and right discipline within you. And it's just a matter of getting there, and you will encounter many hurdles, but you will get there with the right determination. And so the university time was over in 2004. Then at that time I was in peak of myself in both sports. Then I was to go to SAF games as well. So I represented 2006 SAF games in Colombo for wushu. I was the captain of Sri Lanka wushu team. That was also a fantastic event, and since after that I retired from wushu. So then I had to find some sports to take me forward. So then I got to know about some other sport that is also origin from China, called qigong. Right, qigong is a Chinese-based martial art where you can practice on, and which help you to be healthy, and as healthy, and you could be able to take part in international events as well. So these three sports, still I do practice, not the national level, but make you healthy at the local competition to take you forward. So I joined MAs as soon as my academics was over, because I when I was going to SAF games in Islamabad, which is in 2004, I met one of the greatest CEOs in Sri Lanka at that time, namely Mr. Dan Gomez. And after the conversation I had with him in the plane itself, we got to know, and he invited me to join the MAs with him. So I after the tour, I end up in MAs.
So with that invitation only you got into from civil engineering to fabric. So folks, we are talking to Mr. Eranga Weerasinghe. He's the general manager operations for Bodyline Pvt Ltd. So we are coming to some serious questions with Mr. Eranga. So our viewers would like to get to know what exactly how Mr. Eranga would start his day and how you will be ending the day. So like how is your daily routine? So we'll be coming to you back with a short break. So stay tuned to Gaja TV, the #1 sports channel in Sri Lanka. So we'll be back after a short break. So back again, you are with the Big Boss Talk Show. We have a boss here today. We have been invited by Mr. Eranga Weerasinghe, the General Manager of Operations, Bodyline Pvt Ltd. So we were discussing about a few great points, but I'll be deviating it a bit before the break that I mentioned that our viewers would love to know what exactly the day that you are starting. How would you start a day, like as a success story that we are putting out? So how would you start the day for your work, and what would be the scenario?
It's a great question, and no one have asked previously how I start my day. Uh, yeah, I think I start a day with a purpose. If you look at these days, I have a clear purpose for a day, and I have a clear purpose for myself as well. And the purpose once you and the purpose may vary with the time period and with the given circumstance. And if you look at a regular day, the purpose is to be healthy and help the community and help myself and help my family. So in that context, when I wake up, I had to do work with my kids and prepare themselves and so get ready them for the schooling, and then I also get into the vehicle so that I'll come. I know it's a the morning hours also a very very disciplined process. That's very important because otherwise it will be a full chaos sometimes. So as a sportsman, you have to be disciplined yourself before you want others to get disciplined. That's the first rule. That will that must remain throughout your life. Discipline that comes at every actions that you do, from eating to walking, working, and sleeping. Um, when after that, I go to the office and by uh, as a general working staff, so the work start at 8, but I used to arrive to office around 7:30, and my entire management also hence we had a rule, we had to come before work start as a preparation, right? So whatever we do as a preparation for the next hour, next few hours, next day and next week. So as a management team, we have to ready for what's coming next. So then once we come into the office, we all have a morning meeting. So greet people, check whether everyone is okay or not, and then we go through our work list, and we go to the workplace and see what the people are doing. If we are to help for our colleagues and teammates and the real the place, so then we do that, and then we as a team have our will have our breakfast together and our lunch together, so that we communicate to each other. So we when we take meals, we don't have separation. So we don't have a managers lounge, executive lounge, team. Everyone sits together and it's very equal, and we eat the same thing that everyone eats. So basically, within in the organization, in my team, one of the programs that we have started very recently was that best loser program. Yeah, these days with the stress and with the work pattern, people get fat, and we started a competition amongst the management team, who will lose the weight, maximum weight, so then the people tend to control their food pattern and do regular exercise and walking, running. We had a strenuous target about 5 kilograms in 3 weeks and 4 weeks. So the people go. So we have a scaler. We used to take a pictures and share it in our WhatsApp groups. That's fantastic. Um, yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. So I'm still there, but few of our colleagues have made it, and so I'm happy. So then the feedback was that I feel relaxed and healthy, and when you healthy, you can think through it. Otherwise, you can't think through and you can make a correct decisions. So that's where the impact comes for the business. If you take a wrong decision, the wrong action, and then wrong results. So we can't afford to do that. So you must be healthy at all times, and you must be energetic at all. Because if you lose the energy, you lose your leadership. Leadership is all about energy, right? Leadership is all about influencing. If you don't have energy, if you don't have these right habits, the food and the laugh and sleep, rest and passion, you will no longer be a leader. It's everything together. You can make an influence for someone else's actions and behavior.
So, Mr. Ranga, as you explained, now we would like to take you back into what made you now we think like you have passed out from Morato University with a civil engineering degree. So now there are some students, now most of the students in the country, just after O levels, A levels, that they drop out from the education system because they can't 100% complete the ordinary and secondary level exams. So what would you think, like what would your message for them now, rather than giving up? So what would be, as the general manager of a company, what is your message for them? What is the opportunities that they have in the industry?
um, that's a national level question, I would say. um, in our academic education system, So I think still they have 3 times of sitting for advanced level examination to get into university.
With that, Mr. Ranga, I'll be like adding some more sugar on it. So now, with the education system that you had in your time and the education system that we have right now, you can compare that as well. So you can give your comment on that, comparing both the education systems what we have now and the system what you had.
Okay. Uh, so you extended the question far more great. So I'll try to answer that in my perspectives. So basically, so you have a maximum 3 times for getting to university. So if you're lucky, you get into university, but there's a probability, the highest probability that you will not get into university. I think I don't have the number statistics, but I would say about maybe, I don't know what percentage is going to university, but larger percentage is dropouts, right? So as a nation, we have to find a solution for this crowd, this youth, right? So if you are one of them, let's say if I'm a one of them, I have to think whether will this make my career, my life end? Will is will this failure? I don't say it's a failure. Will this exam failure end my life? For me personally, I don't see that way, because you must be a highly talented singer doing mathematics, and you get fail from the mathematics doesn't mean that you are not a singer, right? The first thing that you have to understand yourself is that who you are, what is your strength, and what is your fears that pulls you back. If you understand your strength and if you understand your fears that you pulls you back, you can play with these two maneuvers and thrive yourself to the excellent way that no one can match us, because you are unique. You are one person that no one can match us. So that is the first thing that you have to understand yourself. So as a organization, as a profession, I can say that I'm into apparel manufacturing, and most of our colleagues, our team members are not the highly educated team members, right? We have, if you look at my organization, I have about 2,800, 3,000 team members working on a sewing machine, and we have a similar, other supporting staff like the mechanics and the technicians and the quality staff, likewise. Uh, and we have a general managers, and assistant managers, executives likewise. So we have a people who had come through this entire journey and might have joined as a team member without no qualification, and studied the sewing, and with this experience, practical experience, and the management experience where the organization pumps into her, with that she might have groomed. And we have multiple examples about the people who had come from as a team member to general manager and manager. So that's where the organization take care of the people, and people in return take care of the organization.
Yeah, so now Bodyline, they have created much more opportunities for the community. It's the entity where like people get opportunities to work along with. But as you said with your explanation that you mentioned about hands-on training, that you come in a different position, work and get the exposure, and then go ahead with the position, or like get the exposure back again and grow yourself. So we will be discussing about that, and with a short break I'll be coming to that point back again. But to remind you back again, we are talking with Mr. Eranga Weerasinghe, the General Manager Operations of Bodyline Pvt Ltd. So our scope today is to get to know for our viewers what Mr. Eranga's life and how he has made become a successful entrepreneur. So we'll be getting a short break back again, and we'll be coming to you with more details of what Bodyline Pvt Ltd has created for the community. So we'll come after a short break, and stay tuned with Gaja TV. You're again with the Big Boss Talk Show. We have the boss today explaining about the success story of Mr. Eranga. So we stopped at the education system, and you were there about to say something about the comparison of the two education systems, what you had earlier and what is right now available in the country.
Yeah. If you look at education, I think what we have in our mind is that education is something that you feed to a person and remembers and then spell out in an examination, right? But I would see it as a different thing. I would translate this education into a learning purposes, where from feeding to learning, it's a student centric process. And I don't see a requirement of being a student. Throughout your life you can learn. Even now I'm learning from many people. I'm learning from engagement. I'm learning from any any discussion, and I'm learning from my family as well. I'm learning from my kids. So it's a to learn, you should have a learning skill. I think the one of the skills that youth must train and enhance is the learning skills, where you grab, you expose your ability to willingness to understand and learning purposes. So that is different than the traditional. I think the entire system, entire the paradigm should be changed, but it is not external. I would say it is internal. It is within you. It's rather than blaming to the world, let's take it to yourself and start today.
So now we will be talking about the opportunities that the Bodyline Private Limited would create for the community. And you mentioned about that you have a training facility here as well. So we would like it's like this now. Now there are a lot of training institutes outside the society as well. It's like vocational training institutes where offer NVQ level certificates. So if hypothetical think that there's a person that who wants to get on to fabric industry, so what is the path now think about a dropout from a school, so what is the path he would take to come to the fabric manufacturing industry?
Yeah. So we have a different categories of professions, where the sewing category and profession, and then the mechanics, and then the quality inspection, and the laboratory where the fabric inspection. So likewise there are multiple avenues, and the majority is for the sewing. And we as an organization, we recruit people from surrounding community, where those who are willing to join with us. So we will recruit them with a screening process, and once we onboard, we give the training for them. And there are many team members who join with us doesn't have any knowledge about sewing ability, and they might have not ever never sewn before. But even with that, if they have the right skills and the right attitude towards making sewing and getting into the movement, we recruit. And we have a training facility, and we give about 3 weeks training in terms of sewing, in terms of the garment and the quality points, and machinery basic awareness. With that, the team member is ready to getting with her team, and then be a part of a team where they excel and they move forward. Yeah, so that is starting from a point of view of a team member. But apart from that, we have a, let's say, mechanic. So we recruit within, and we recruit from outside as well. And those who have had done some vocational training is a good way to get in. But there are limitations. I mean, the opportunities is depend on the vacancies we have. But however, there's an avenue that you can getting into. And the other side of the training is that uh, from entering, and within the organization also we have a multiple trainings, and not only the skill training but also managerial trainings as well. And some are, for example, we have a industrial engineering profession, where we have a internalized training for themselves as it. So once one of the so I recall one of the CEOs, when something similar to this interview, we was asked, you give much training, and what will happen if this person leaves? You investing on that person, maybe many trainings. What will happen if he leaves? So then he asked the question that, let's say if I do not give any trainings, what will happen if everyone remains? Right. So same question. So it's all about investing on the people. So the organization also have a internal investment process where we as a Bodyline have a continuous training programs in different from the team members, multi-skilling, different machineries, different skills. With that, with this skill enhancement, she or he will be ready to take up the next challenge in the next level, right? And then next level, like the technician, right? Like the so likewise, multiple level from team member to supervisor to technician to the executive, so, and even to manager and assistant manager and DGM level. So we have clear examples of that. So uh, first you have to put aside your ego, be fresh, and start to learn, getting into the real work, and with the passion you can move forward. Because once it doesn't mean that if you fail on your exams, it doesn't mean that your life is over. You have plenty of opportunity if you want to succeed.
So, Mr. Eranda, we clearly have the image what you want to express for the viewers, and this is right here. We have our guest is a clear example of our viewers to get to know there's nothing is impossible. So, apparently, Mr. Eranga, he has balanced his life with sports and studies, and back again when it comes to the industry he has balanced his work. So we would like to know now, you being the general manager for the operations, so what sort of work structure that you are coordinating with, what is the work scope that you are utilized with?
So as a general manager of operations, I'm responsible to deliver the customer the share stakeholders expectation in terms of the manufacturing facility, from the shareholder point of view, making profits, that I'm responsible, and from the customer point of view, delivering the expected value. For example, from a plant point of view, we get raw material from outside, and we store it, and then we cut it, and then we stitch it, sew it, and then we store it, and then we ship it. So the entire value chain is responsible by the general manager. So then I have to look after the operations and their limits and their key performance indicators and their well-beings as well, and the human part as well. So it's an entire process. It's a material movement and the people movement and the process movement. And apart from that, we promote the improvement culture as well. So the improvements, it's everything. So we have a clear structure which look after the activities in terms of different segments. So as a general manager for operations, I'm responsible of delivering the stakeholder value, where for the shareholders, delivering the profits from a plant perspective, and from a customer point of view, delivering the customer expected value from raw material receivers to the cutting and then sewing and the storing and shipping. This scope is responsible by the general manager operations. And then we have to look after the structure as well. We have undesignated teams who looked after each functions, and as a general manager, I had to look after the team as well in the plant. So it's a combination of people, process, and the product, where to deliver the ultimate stakeholder value.
All right. So then the folks, right now we were discussing with Mr. Eranda, General Manager Operations of Bodyline Private Limited, and we were about to say that our intentions are really clear, that with through this program that we want to bring the world winning successful characters to our show, and let us the viewers of our community to get to know what their successful story. So you can log on to our website gaja.tv.lk, and you can stream us on YouTube and Facebook, Gaja TV. You can like us and comment on. Your suggestions can be written to us. So we will be going for a short break. Back again, you can join us with the Big Bush Talk Show within a short break. So folks, back again, you are coming to the talk show. So we were talking to Mr. Eranga, and as this is the final part of our discussion, that we would like to get to some additional details as well. It is additional in the sense like it's a bit of complicated, but how would you define success?
Success is a very personal thing, and it's purely dependent on the expectation that we have set. If we achieve the expectation, I think it's a success. Having said that, success doesn't mean that the happiness is always there. So both are a choice of the internal peace, um, because having had everything, people might think, a person might think, he's not success, and having had everything, a person might not be happy. He might be struggling with something that he sees on the road. Right, while you have the world luxurious car driving on that, if you have something on your right in front, you know you might think, this is much more happier than what I am driving right now. So for me, the success is a very personal, internalized thing. And for my message for the entire community is that, if you can understand who you are and what is your real purpose is, success is very easy. Be happy. So it's an internal choice. It is not material. It is not external. It is not profession. It is you that make you happy, and it is your responsibility to be happy. No one else.
Okay, Mr. Eranga. So as Mr. Eranga was explaining about the story of him, so this program is tailor-made to bring guests like Mr. Eranga, who has successfully achieved their goals, to deliver their success story to our viewers. So we really thank for you for giving us this opportunity for Gaja TV, and our viewers will really be happy about getting to know about your successful story. And we are recording this from Bodyline Pvt Ltd, Horana, beg your pardon, Horana, and we spoke with Mr. Eranga Weerasinghe, that is the General Manager for Operations, Bodyline Pvt Ltd. So back again, thank you for giving us this opportunity, and it is a great pleasure for our viewers for you to come and address.
Thank you very much. Thank you
So
very much
right.
having me here.
So and you can always log on to www.gajatv.lk for streaming all the videos, and you can log on to Facebook and YouTube. Will be there as well. So with the next episode, we'll be bringing you another boss, and we will share the success story of the boss. Until then, goodbye to you all. Thank you.